all of us. I don't actually own a 1965 Dodge Dart, but in my mind, I own one. It's like we're gonna take a drive and then we're gonna head over to the West Side Highway. We're gonna go down the West Side Highway together. Down to the tip of Manhattan. And we're gonna drive across the Brooklyn Bridge. Into Brooklyn, we're gonna go to Fulton Street, to the Fulton Street Diner. A man named Frank. He steps out of his limousine. 1945. He's a chauffeur. He steps out of his limousine and walks into the Fulton Street Diner to get some lunch. I was playing this song about 6 years ago in Manhattan. I didn't know it, but there was a filmmaker in the audience named Bob, and he heard this song, and about 2 years ago he called me. He said, "Joe, I've been thinking about your song Brooklyn in July now for the last 4 years." He said, "I just finished a project and it's been traveling around, and I'd like to start a new one. And what I really would love to do is make a film called Brooklyn in July based on your song." And he said, "Do I have your permission to do that?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, you have my permission." And so this summer, for the last 2 years, he's been working on it, and took over a diner in Brooklyn, May, June, July, August, September, and redecorated it and set it as the stage for this film. And that's where some of it was filmed. And it's called Brooklyn in July, and this is the kind of slower, moodier version of this song that will run under the credits at the end of it. Brooklyn in July, cafe on Fulton Street. Frank parked the limousine, he went inside to eat. A black man in a brown suit, chauffeur between drives. Ivy cap, working wage 1945. And the waitress, she ignored him. The cooks laughed and watched him wait. She served his food cold on a broken dinner plate. And God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn in July. God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn in July. Frank, he'd seen it all his life. This time something snapped. He stood up, threw his chair, and he shattered the front window glass. And the cooks called the cops in. The cops took Frank away. The waitress said she didn't know why a man would act that way. God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn in July. God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn in July. And the limousine got towed away. Frank, they drove him west. The waitress called the insurance man. The cooks cleaned up the mess. In a room alone, Frank never came home. How much can a good man take? And how far can a good man bend before a good man breaks? God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn in July. God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn, and even in Ferguson, and even in Charleston, and even in Charlotte. God knows it's cold outside. Brooklyn in July, cafe on Fulton Street. Frank parked the limousine, went inside to eat. A black man in a brown suit, chauffeur between drives. Ivy cap, working wage, 1945. 1965. 1995, 2000, and God knows it's cold outside, even in Brooklyn, even in Brooklyn in July.